On the 22nd of April 2025, something happened in Ghana that has never happened before in the country's modern history. President John Dramani Mahama, in what many are calling a historic and controversial move, suspended the sitting Chief Justice, Her Ladyship Gertrude Torkornoo. This is the first time since the 1992 Constitution came into force that a Chief Justice has been suspended from office. It shocked the nation and immediately triggered intense debates, legal actions, and political tension. The suspension did not come out of nowhere. 3 separate petitions had been submitted to the President, accusing the Chief Justice of various serious offences. These included abuse of power, financial misconduct, incompetence, and interference with judicial processes. According to the Constitution, the President had to consult the Council of State before making any decision. After reviewing the petitions and speaking with the Council, President Mahama concluded that there was enough evidence, or as the Constitution calls it, a prima facie case, to move forward with the process. That meant an investigative committee had to be formed to look into the allegations thoroughly. This investigative body, made up of 5 members, was formed under Article 146 of the Constitution. It was chaired by Justice Paul Bafo-Boni, the most senior judge on the Supreme Court after the suspended Chief Justice. Other members included Justices Gabriel Poimang and Samuel Asiedu, among others. In the meantime, President Mahama also named Justice Bafo-Boni as the acting Chief Justice, so the work of the judiciary could continue while the investigation was ongoing. However, not everyone agreed with the suspension or how it was done. 2 members of Parliament, Vincent Ekao Asafua and Ebenezer Osei Owusu, filed legal actions challenging the move. They argued that Chief Justice Torkornoo was not even informed or given the chance to respond to the petitions before she was suspended. This, they said, went against the basic principle of natural justice, where everyone deserves the right to be heard. They also pointed out that the Constitution says a prima facie case should be established before any committee is set up. But in this situation, they believed the process had been rushed and the steps were not followed properly. On May 6, 2025, the Supreme Court delivered its ruling. In a tight decision with a 3-2 majority, the court dismissed the injunction applications, meaning that the suspension would remain in place and the investigation could go on. This legal outcome did not end the controversy. In fact, it added more fuel to the fire. The New Patriotic Party, NPP, now in opposition, strongly criticized the suspension. Prominent members such as Henry Nana Boakye and Justin Frimpong Kodwa called the action unconstitutional and said it was a direct attack on the independence of the judiciary. They organized protests across the country and demanded that Chief Justice Torkornoo be reinstated. The Ghana Center for Democratic Development, GCDD, also raised concerns, warning that this kind of political move could concentrate too much power in the hands of the executive and damage the checks and balances built into Ghana's democracy. Many law experts, civil society organizations, and public commentators joined the debate. Some believed the Chief Justice deserved to be investigated, but they insisted the process had to be fair and transparent. Others felt the accusations were politically motivated and that her removal was part of a bigger plan to weaken judicial independence. Legal scholars wrote articles and appeared on radio and television calling for calm but firm attention to constitutional integrity. Some even argued that judges must be protected from political manipulation if democracy is to survive. The Chief Justice herself broke her silence on June 25, 2025. In her first public speech since the suspension, she defended herself boldly and said the process used to suspend her was unlawful. She claimed that the way the case was handled violated both the Constitution and established legal procedure. She said there was too much secrecy surrounding the matter when the Constitution actually demands openness. She feared that the method used to remove her could be used again in the future to silence judges, setting a dangerous precedent. According to her, the inquiry process should have been open to public scrutiny because there was nothing classified about the allegations. In her view, this was not just about her, but about the soul of the judiciary. She believed that when justice is handled in secret or for political gain, trust in the courts collapses. She insisted she had followed the rules and that her actions were always based on legal advice, policy, and constitutional guidelines. The list of accusations against Chief Justice Torkornoo is long. One of the major complaints was about the misuse of public funds. Daniel Ofori, a petitioner, accused her of using 261,890 Ghana cedis for international travel, which allegedly included paying for tickets for her husband and daughter, something claimed to be outside her official entitlements. In another incident, it was reported that the Judicial Service spent over 75,000 Ghanaian cedis on tickets for her and her husband to attend a program in Tanzania. Additionally, she was accused of failing to properly account for a $14,000 imprest given for the trip. She only spent $4,400 and returned the rest, but the petitioner claimed this was still not enough. Her defense was that judicial travel policy allows her to travel with a spouse or child, and that the unused portion of the money was returned, as shown by official records. The Auditor General, in fact, did not issue any surcharge against her. Another serious allegation was about how she used her authority to transfer court cases. The petition said she had moved certain cases, including those involving the petitioner himself and other high-profile commercial cases, to different courts to suit her preferences. They said she also reassigned judges without following proper procedures. Her response was that the law, specifically Section 104 of the Courts Act, allows the Chief Justice to transfer cases when necessary, especially when judges are unavailable or on leave. In a separate petition by Ayamga Yakubu Akolgo, she was accused of misconduct in court. During a Supreme Court hearing in November 2023, she reportedly insulted the petitioner by calling him an incompetent senior barrister. She allegedly abused the contempt powers of the court by ordering his arrest without the approval of the full panel and did not officially record the arrest. There was even an accusation that she faked documents to suggest that the arrest never happened. Again, she denied these claims. She said arrests and official records are handled by court staff, not just by her personally. She also emphasized that Supreme Court decisions are made by a panel, not by one judge alone. Another disturbing allegation was that she interfered with court processes during the high-profile Jackie Quayson case. It was claimed that she ordered national security to seize ICT equipment from the courts to control the trial outcome. She was also accused of transferring ICT staff even after they had been cleared of wrongdoing, suggesting an act of revenge. Lastly, she was accused of administrative failure. This included hiring unqualified people as registrars or support staff, as well as removing or reassigning workers without proper procedures. These actions were said to have created confusion and inefficiency in the system. Throughout all these accusations, the Chief Justice has remained firm in denying wrongdoing. She says every step she took was either supported by law or recommended by institutional policy. In some cases, she said the actions being blamed on her happened even before she became Chief Justice. She also claims that she followed the decisions of the Judicial Council and never acted alone. Still, even if these allegations are not yet proven, they are serious enough to demand a full investigation. That is why the Constitution calls for an inquiry committee to look into the matter and give recommendations based on truth and evidence. Until that process ends, the Chief Justice remains suspended. The country remains deeply divided over this issue. Some people feel the Chief Justice has been unfairly treated and support her call for transparency and justice. Others believe that if she has done wrong, then she should be held accountable like anyone else. The case has stirred public emotions, and it has also become a tool for political battles. The NPP and its supporters have used this suspension to criticize the NDC government, claiming that it is trying to control the judiciary. They say this is just the beginning, that soon the NDC will appoint a new Chief Justice who will favor their interests. There are even talks that the new Inspector General of Police will also be someone close to the party. It has reached a point where even ordinary things like hiring an electrician at a public institution can be seen through political lenses. In all of this, it is the ordinary Ghanaian who suffers. Politics has taken over every part of our national life. People no longer trust that decisions are being made in the interest of justice, fairness, or progress. Everything is seen as a political game, and hope for a better future seems to fade each day. We are not here to support the wrongdoing of anyone. If the Chief Justice has truly committed these offenses, then she must face the consequences. But the way we handle such situations matters greatly. Suspending a sitting Chief Justice without following every constitutional step perfectly sets a very dangerous example. It creates a future where any judge can be removed for political reasons. That is a future we should all fear. Let us ask ourselves, do you support the suspension of Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo, or do you believe this is a dangerous threat to our justice system? Shouldn't we have waited for a complete investigation before taking such a drastic action? Should politics always come first in matters of national interest? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. Share this video. Like it. Let the people of Ghana and the world know what you think. Subscribe to Ghana AI News, where we bring you unfiltered truth in a time where truth has become the rarest and most powerful thing. This is more than a story. It is a test of our democracy, our institutions, and our future.